we are going to have a city councilor and consultant speak. Ooh, you brought your crowd with you, I see. His name is Ayo Owodunni, and Ayo Owodunni is a city councilor in Kitchener, Ontario, a seasoned management consultant, and a powerful keynote speaker. Originally from Nigeria, Ayo brings over 13 years of experience in leadership development and community building. He's an author, board member, and advocate for inclusive leadership, and he brings insight, strategy, and heart to everything he does. Please help me put your hands together and welcome Councillor Ayo Owodunni. Did I get it? Did I get it?
Yes.
I got it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Wow. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
It's such a pleasure being here with all of you. My name is Ayo Owodunni. Once again, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Unfortunately, I'm the only one using a podium. You know, politicians, we like to use podiums. So they have given me one, but every now and then I will move around. And also, they asked the politician to speak for 25 minutes. How many politicians do you know that can speak for nothing less than 30 or so? No, I'm just joking. Today, my assignment, my area of focus is going to be on talent retention through inclusion. Talent retention through inclusion. I understand that I'm probably the one holding you back from your lunch, so I will make it as quick as possible so that you will not be cursing me out in your minds and you're able to all gain from this. Okay, let's do something really, really quickly just so that we can all get ready to go on this journey together, all right? I need you to do me a favor. I need everybody to smile, first of all. I need everybody to smile because I'm looking at some of y'all. Some of y'all look like you're about to fight. Let's smile, okay? And I want you to give a compliment to someone sitting next to you. Can we just give someone sitting next to you just a quick compliment? So turn to your left, to your right. Say hello and say something nice to them. You're looking good today. You're looking sharp. Your hair looks good. Look at the color of your hair. You have no hair. You have too much hair. I'm good. How are you, man? I hope you returned the favor as well. All right. Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you. Once again, let's get started. My topic is talent retention through the power of inclusion. This is something I'm really passionate about. I wrote a book called The Inclusive Leader, The Immigrant View. And the idea behind the book was basically, how do we ensure that we're helping immigrants maximize potential within our organizations? That is something that is really important and is really, really crucial as well for us. So let's get started. There is a great book called Multipliers by a lady by the name of Liz Wiseman. Really phenomenal, fantastic book. I encourage every single one of you to get it whenever you get a chance. And in that book, there's a particular chapter where she focuses on research, and she talks about research where they worked with different executives and managers of different organizations, various industries, making different amounts of money. And they asked a very simple question. And they said, I want you to think of a manager or a leader that you've worked with past 10, 20 years that you feel that you couldn't stand. Many of you already have someone coming to mind. I see Terry's face change. She's like, oh yeah, I know that person. You know that person, you're walking down the street, you see them, and then you cross to the other side of the street? You're going to the coffee cooler to grab some coffee, and you see them, and you walk away, and you don't grab coffee. Suddenly, you're okay. And then they said on a scale of 0 to 100, 100 being high productivity, you're hitting all your numbers, you're doing amazing, fantastic things. 0 is you don't want to be at work at all. They said on a rating of 0 to 100, how would you rate your work performance or your work output within that period of time while you're working with that manager? And based on that research, people said 20 to 50%. They asked another question, and they said, I want you to think of another manager Now, this is the manager that brings a smile to your face, brings joy to your heart, someone that coached you, helped you, supported you, mentored you, directed you, sponsored you. You know, that person that many of you, you can feel like you tell a story about them years later, how they transformed your life, they transformed your career, or whatever it is. I'm sure many of you have someone in mind. I hope you do have someone in mind. And they ask the same question on a scale of 0 to 100 in terms of output, where would you rate yourself? And they said 70 to 100%. That tells me a few things. Number one, leadership is powerful. And I think we all know that, but sometimes through the vicissitudes of life, through the ups and downs and all the things that we're going through, we tend to forget it. Leadership is powerful. Number two, leadership can help to maximize potential. There are people that you've worked with that you gave your all simply because of that individual you're working with, not necessarily because of the organization. These things are so powerful and so crucial and so important. It's important to realize that our influence can help to maximize potential. But many times we know these things, but we don't practice it that much. Or, if you've ever read the book, 4 Disciplines of Execution, it talks about the whirlwind. How many people know what the whirlwind is? The whirlwind is you get into work one day, and from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., they're throwing all sorts of things at you. And you have to tackle this fire and tackle this. And you got to make a decision here. And before you know it, 5 p.m. comes and you go, that's finished till tomorrow. But the reality is the whirlwind happens over and over and over and over and over again, that if care is not taken, your strategy could be eaten up by the whirlwind. If care is not taken, your ability to coach could be eaten up by the whirlwind. If care is not taken, your ability to be able to support, to mentor, to be that leader, that inclusive leader that people need, could also be taken up by the whirlwind. So many times, we need to be intentional about inclusive leadership. It's not going to happen naturally. You actually have to think about it. You actually have to plan it. You actually have to schedule it in. You actually have to make it happen as well. Okay, because I have a short time, there are a few things that I want to just, so we're all on the same page, that I'm going to bring up. I'll call it some basic truths that we all know, but we don't like to talk about. All right? But before I do that, I want to share with you the different types of immigrants that are in Canada, because I've come to realize that many Canadians are not aware of the different categories. You know, I remember one day I said I got my PR, and the person in HR said, "What is that?" And I'm like, "That's a big day for me," and she had no clue what it was. You know, because she was born and raised here, so it's a different world. So there are different categories, and we're not going to go through all the different categories, because I know immigration consultants will probably be here and correct me every now and then. So I'm only going to focus on a few. First of all, we have the international students, okay? They come in through the educational route. It's a bit, well, it used to be, let me not say it's a bit easier. It used to be, now it has changed. I saw an article this morning that it has dropped by 70%. And I remember, I think it's Conestoga was dropped at 95% or something like that. So that has changed. So we have the students' routes, the international students that come in, and then they come in, they get their work permit over time, they apply for their PR, they get their PR, and then eventually they become a citizen. So that's the route that many people end up taking. Most of the times, these individuals end up in our organizations as well. Does that make sense? Okay, now, within the international student route, there are, I like to call them the 3 sets of students that we have. And all the professors in the room, you will understand what I'm talking about. Type A are the students that sit in the first 2 rows within your class. Some of the teachers, Terry's already laughing. She knows what I'm talking about. They're the serious ones. They know that the family has paid a lot of money. They got to get a good grade because they want to be a value-added citizen in the community. So they're paying attention, they're listening, they're doing all that great stuff. Then you have the people in the middle. One day they're not paying attention to you. The other day they wake up. The next day they didn't drink coffee, so they're not paying attention. Day 4, they didn't show up in class at all. Then you have the students in the back row. And many times, some of them don't even speak English. Have you ever noticed sometimes if you're teaching in class for the professors, there are people mumbling, and you wonder why they're mumbling? Someone is translating to the other person so they understand what the heck you're talking about on stage. So those are the students. And the reason why I think it's important to break it down is sometimes when you talk to HR people, they tend to focus and talk about the people in the back row, and they consider them and categorize them as all of the international students. And that is not true. Okay? So that is the international students. Now we talk about people that come in through the economic category, which I believe is about 50% or so, over 50%. These are the creme de la creme of their countries, the best of the best, the smartest. Those are the engineers. Those are the professors that are coming in from different countries. They're extremely smart, and they are very different from what Canada is used to. And I think it's important to point that out. Why? Because 30, 40 years ago, the immigrants that used to come to Canada were people that would come, they would do the labor jobs, they would do the survival jobs, and then Canada had a mindset of, these are the people that we're helping. You know, we open their doors for them to come in. And I think it's important to remember that, okay? But now you have people that are coming in who used to own land, property, cars, who used to fly on vacation to Canada, and now they're coming here to work. So they're not expecting to start from the bottom and work their way up. They used to be a director, they used to be a vice president in their previous company. They're coming into your country expecting to come in at that level, or maybe a step down just to start out. So what happens over time is you have staff members and a company that has expectations of 30 years ago, and then you have immigrants coming into the organization, expectations of today, and then you have this cognitive dissonance, you have this clashes that is taking place within the organization, leading to frustrations on both parts, and then you have an HR that says, you know what, we're not going to deal with immigrants anymore, we don't want to work with them. Because one is expected to move up faster, and the other one is thinking, well, I am helping you, shouldn't you be happy to be here? And the other one is thinking, I'm an expat coming in here to be able to add value in your organization. What do you mean that I cannot move up and I cannot move up fast? So do you see how complicated this conversation can be? And the reason why I think it's important to point it out is when I speak with the immigrants, they will say, yeah, tell them. But then when I meet with the HR people, the conversation is completely different because there's a mindset shift that needs to happen. There's a mindset change that needs to take place. There is a historical perspective that we are not aware of, that they're aware of, that we need to work through. So that is just context before we go into the topic. And I know they will say my time is up soon. So let's fly really quickly. Some basic truths that we should all be talking about, but we're not talking about. Number one, diversity is not easy. It is complicated. I want people to have a diverse mindset. I want them to be inclusive in their thinking and nature. But if you bring 12 Nigerians together and you bring one Canadian in, we're going to crack jokes in our language. It is funnier in the language to crack the joke. You know, it is funnier, or we enjoy the music better. So it is just tougher. It is hard. I'm not saying it's impossible. It is hard. So if your organization is trying, yes, they can do a lot more, but also let's be gracious and thankful for people that are looking to try and make an attempt as well. I can tell you guys, I work in a company where it is 99% Indians. I'm the only non-Indian working in my company. And Dinesh is already laughing. In the middle of a meeting, someone is talking, and I just noticed the person went from English to, I don't know what the person just said, and then went back to English. So I said, wait, what did you just say? And he goes, oh, Paji, sorry. I broke into, I broke into Hindi and I came back. I'm very sorry. It is hard. It is tough. And now I'm seeing and understanding, okay, everybody orders biryani for lunch, or they order some sort of Indian meal, and I come in with my jollof rice, and we're all looking at each other like, what is going on? Diversity is hard. So let's be gracious and let's help and let's support one another through it. Another thing that we need to think about, regardless of any team that we join, whether we all look together, we all look alike or we sound alike, we all go through the 4 stages of development. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? You go through the forming stage, you go through the storming stage, you go through the norming, and you go through the performing stage. Every team goes through it. And guess what? When you bring in one new person into the team, you start the stage all over again because now you have a totally different dynamic, someone with a different background, different expertise as well. So when you have a new immigrant that is joining your department, joining the organization, you're naturally going to go through the 4 stages of development. Does that make sense? And the storming stage might be slightly longer. It might be slightly longer because you're trying to understand how to work together. When I became a city councilor, I'm the first immigrants in the city of Kitchener to be able to get the role. So very grateful for people in Kitchener to giving me the opportunity. But it can be tough. Oh, thank you. In case you said I give Kitchener the opportunity, absolutely, I love it. But it can be tough. Because there are times when we talk about some problems and I smile because in the back of my mind, that is not a problem in Nigeria. You know? Or somebody comes to make oh, we're recording this. I can't say all the things I want to really say. Or somebody comes to make a presentation and, it's a heartfelt presentation. And their heart is hurt. And I'm like, in Nigeria, nobody will care about the heart. So so I have to adjust my thinking. And there are times when my mayor is having conversations with me, and then he's like, Ayo, you cannot say what, I know what you're thinking. You cannot think what you're thinking, Ayo. But that is the reality. These things are different. So we go through the 4 stages of development, and we go through the storming stage. Okay, and we have to, as leaders, you have to help your team and work with the team as they go through the storming stage. You need to be able to help and support and coach and talk to people so they can work things out amongst one another so that they can have a conversation with one another as well. And lastly, may I say this? When you're different, people are just uncomfortable naturally. It's human nature. We don't naturally see the potential. Naturally, we see competition. Okay? We're trained that way. And then when the person doesn't look like you, doesn't sound like you, doesn't eat the same food, the religion is slightly different, our walls naturally go up. And I think we just need to be aware of these things so that we can help and support one another. I'm 6'4". I think I naturally scare people. When I am at Walmart or at a store, I have to actually step back because I guarantee you 70, 80% of the time, anytime a young white lady looks behind or an older white lady, they always jump. I'm 6'4", so I have to overcompensate with a smile. I remember when we were going door knocking, I had to knock and take like 3 steps back so that I don't scare the person at the door when they open the door. It was actually part of our election strategy playbook. Take 4 steps back and smile. Okay? It was very different. So we all have to learn to push to understand one another better and work together as well. So I have 4 challenges for you. My time is almost up. I have 6 challenges rather. 6 challenges that I have for all of you. And I would appreciate if you can write these down, okay? Number 1, meets them. Meets them, M-E-E-T, them. All right? Whomever that is within your organization, you need to find time to meet with the person. You need to grab coffee with people. You need to find time to connect with people that are different from you, that look different, that sound different. Immigrants, I'm also talking to you. All right? Meet the others within the organization as well. Well, Aya, what do I do when I meet them? Okay, well, it's an opportunity for you to get to know the other person. It's an opportunity for you to hear stories. It's an opportunity for you to learn from them. Oh, you're from Nigeria. Tell me more about Nigeria. What is Nigeria like? What is like working over there? Wow, from green to yellow, that was pretty quick. I'm just kidding. She's giving me my time. She's giving me my time. My time is almost up. So number 1 is meet them. Did we all write that down? You need to come up with strategies. How do you do that? I know the CEO of a credit union that made a commitment that once a week he's going to meet someone new within the organization. Their turnover is very, very low, extremely low, probably one of the best within the credit union industry. And he's brought in many times to speak. But it starts from there. Why? Because as he does it, guess what? The executive team starts to do the same thing. And when the executive team members have to do the same thing, suddenly the senior managers have to do the same thing as well. And guess what? Whenever they're doing any types of training, guess who sits up front? The CEO. Guess who's writing notes? The CEO. I used to work in the organization, so I didn't read it, I saw it. And I saw the benefit of it. All right, so first one, you got to meet them. Number two, you have to know them. Knowing them is about building trust. It's about connecting with people. It's about learning from them. It's about understanding their culture, which could be very different from yours. Pushing to do your research to learn a bit more about that person, while they also learn about you as well. When trust goes up, walls go down. I always like to tell people I love to build trust because I know the storming stage is coming up. Storming is usually easier when you've built trust. Does that make sense? It is tougher when you've not built trust, because when you don't trust one another, whatever action you take, the person is going to be reading, oh, what are they trying to do? They're going to misconstrue all your actions because there's no trust. However, when there's trust in the equation, it changes so many other things. Does that make sense? So we've talked about meet them. What was number two? Know them. Now I want you to learn from them. Learn from them. I guarantee you there are some immigrants that work within your organization that have a PhD, that have a master's, that have all of those great credentials, but they're not showing it because, oh, for me to get this job in this company, I had to remove some of that from my resume. Does that make sense? I guarantee you there are some skills that are on that resume that have been taken off that you can help them bring back. I guarantee you there are some people that have worked across multiple countries in different places and have done so many amazing things that you don't know half the story. They can bring so much experience, but you will never know if you never ask. You will never know if you never ask. I have a friend who used to work for one of the top telecommunication companies in Africa, and he used to tell me stories of how, whenever he'll have to go to, I forgot what they're called, basically when they had to go to fix some of the things that need to be done. And he has to go with soldiers with guns because it was in, I call it hot territories. You know what I mean? Imagine having to work in that type of environment, and then you come to Canada, nobody has to bother you, and you can do your work times two. And you have more resources as well. Imagine that person sharing their experience. How do you do that? How do you manage that? It's the emotional intelligence to be in that type of situation and still be able to perform on the job, knowing you could be shot at any point in time. There were people that were doing those things. Now imagine that person coming here. You can gain and learn so much from them. So we've talked about learn from them. Number 4, I want you to share with them. You know so much about this country. Many of you have lived here for many years. Some of the resources, some of the things that you have gained, you can help people fast track their careers by pushing you through. I remember 2017, 2018, when I met the mayor and I said, I want to run for city councilor. And he gave me the strategies of things to do to be able to fast track. Remember, at that point, I'd only been in Canada for 2 years. But he helped me to fast track things so that by the time I ran, people knew who I was and people were willing to support me. Does that make sense? Okay, so we've talked about sharing with them. And the last 2, because of time, I'm out of time. Number 5 is mentor them. And number 6 is sponsor them. Number 5, mentor them. And number 6, sponsor them. Many times, I shared this last year here, immigrants are over-mentored and under-sponsored. There are people that you've been mentoring for so long that it's time for you to open doors for them. It's time for you to speak behind closed door for them. I got on the board of governors of a university, and I remember I was sharing it with my mayor, and I'm like, oh, great news, I'm on this prestigious board for this university. And he said, I know. And I'm like, how do you know? He said, they called me. And I'm like, I didn't put your name down as reference. He said, I know, they called me, and they said, this Ayo, do you really think we should give him a chance? I was not aware they were going to do that. It was not part of the conversation. His name was not even on the list. Yet they gave him a call, and he was able to speak on my behalf. We need more people to do that. So in other words, I was qualified. In other words, I had the experience. I had all of those things, but until someone from within their circle spoke on my behalf, they were not going to let me in. So many of you, you have the power to pull someone up and help them break the glass ceiling. Don't just sit in those conversations anymore. You need to start finding ways to help and support them. And if you feel that there are gaps in what they do and how they do the things that they do, then you can mentor so that you can fix those cracks, so that you can pull them up. So I want to challenge every single one of us today, even the immigrants. There are one or two people that you know you can help them maximize potential. You know that you can help pull them up. You know that you can help break the glass ceiling. I want to challenge you to start mentoring them. I want to challenge you to do something called soft coaching, okay, where you don't have to be always direct about it, but at least you're speaking about it and you're challenging them to grow, to move to that next level. There are many people who have done it for me, and I strongly believe that we can do it as well for one another. My time is up. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Counselor Ayo Owodunni.